like, somebody beats you, which somebody beat me in my career, and I'm like, I figured out why did he beat me, and what my problem was, and then I fixed it, and then I went back and fixed the problem. So, and it was, I didn't do it in the sense of, I didn't come down on myself and said, this is why it happened, this is why I lost, and this is the reason. I basically blamed myself and just figured out a way to correct it and went and did it.
Those are the words of Lennox Lewis, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And he did an interview with Mr. Davis, Gareth A. Davis, and he explained how you bounce back, improve from a loss. Okay, and as he was explaining, listen, you have to go back, figure out why you lost, and then come back again and fix the problem. Don't blame other people. Don't blame anybody but yourself, right? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because even Lennox Lewis himself has 2 professional losses, okay? And both times he corrected those losses with wins. He avenged those losses. And one thing I know about great fighters, they know how to come back. And again, this is no like sly slick on Lennox Lewis, but I understand, like, you notice a lot of people, like especially on the PBC side of Fox, especially like people that are bigger up, like Shelly Finkel, JD's, those type of guys. If you notice, they haven't came forth with a comment concerning Deontay Wilder at all. And then see, people can actually accidentally give away what it is to, or how it is to lose, like Lennox Lewis just did. But it's almost like when you don't talk about it, it's like you're turning a blind eye to the problem, okay? He just said this is how you do it. When you lose, you figure out how you lost, you come back, you fix the problem, you blame nothing but yourself because you are in control. That's the gist of what Lennox Lewis is saying, okay? And Lennox Lewis would not come out and say a lot of things towards Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder's a PBC fighter and Fox, and I get it, he's a commentator for PBC, but I think people need to follow the mindset of someone like, in this regard, Paulo Malignaggi. In that regard. Not everything that Paulie said, because, Paulie's fell off the map since he refused to apologize for the remarks that he made. So there you go. But he was true for doing what he thought was right and what he thought was the subjective thing to a fighter, which is Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder got mad and ripped him for it, okay? But it's true. I think enough people should come forth. We had last week Jamal Charlo saying, no, he just got his ass whooped. You're going to have people that have to show Wilder tough love in order for him to come through. Now, depending on his mentality and demeanor, I think that's going to be probably, it could be his downfall. Like, you guys know how I feel about Wilder and his possible retirement. But I feel that this guy, Wilder, he's not looking at what Lennox Lewis looked at when he lost. He's not looking at the fact that, hey, I lost. How do I fix that problem? How did he beat me? If you only resort to, hey, well, he beat me this way, and then, he cheated, and he had to do this to win, and all this, he's never going to make it. He's not, because he's never going to realize the true problem at hand. Because he's around a bunch of dumbasses that think that it's cool to tell this man, to deceive this man that, hey, yeah, he cheated you, that's why you lost. No, you were going to get beat anyway. And let's make it for the record, okay? A guy like Deontay Wilder, a guy that has in many fights been beaten to the punch, outboxed, out hustled, out crafted, and a lot of those outs and other outs, the power didn't come through. The power will not always come through when you have no skill to back it up. Okay? But I just thought it was funny to share it with you guys with Lennox Lewis saying, hey, you can't blame anybody but yourself, but then he couldn't apply that same remedy to Deontay Wilder. Maybe he will one day, and if he will, I think he should do it quickly in a hurry. Because Deontay Wilder, he's 35, he's coming out of the prime part of his life by fighting guys that he shouldn't have probably been fighting that long or that many. But I think he needs to tell Deontay Wilder, like, look, this is what you should do. You know, but of course, someone won't even give his takes on the accusations. And it's funny how people don't want to really even go in that direction a lot of times, depending on what side of the street they're on. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Lennox Lewis improving after a loss. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.